Hello, everyone. This is Rick Latona, and this is the open house presentation of modernlovespells.com and extremespells.com. I am joined by Robert Allen, who is the seller. Robert, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Before we get started, just wanted those of you who can see but not hear to have a chance to read this, and also to let everybody else know if you have a question, please use the GoToWebinar software and type the question. I will ask the question when we get to the section that I know that's going to cover it, or at the end if there's not going to be a section at it. So there's two properties here. Both of them are Robert's, and they can be bought together or independently. But, you know, kind of in this presentation, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how they relate to one another, and then towards the end, we'll go over the financials and the operations independently. So, Robert, before we start talking about the site specifically, these are about casting spells. How did you get into that?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's not per se spells. It's what the term spells is the closest thing we use to describe actual service. And the service is called casting attraction energies or generating attraction energies that bring things into the client's life that they want. Things like financial freedom. Maybe they lost a certain lover that they want back in their life. Maybe they want to meet the love of their life. Things like that. It's not the term spells is actually a bad representation, but we use that because it's the closest thing that people would understand the service to be. It's called morphic attraction energies, and what they are is the client arranges certain items in their home, very simple, cost-effective items that basically they have around their home, to generate these energies to create a certain result.
So these are spells that they cast on themselves in order to have a positive influence on their life. Can you cast? Does it work to do it to someone else?
Well, not necessarily. When a client orders a casting, it's a two-part. The site owner arranges certain items that they are instructed to provide, which is very simple, things that don't cost more than $10, and then the client themselves follow the procedure to complete the casting of the energies. And then that's basically the business model. The business model is very simple. And it generates a result for the client that always proves, well, not always, but it's 97% of the time proves to be effective in some way, shape, or form. We have so many return clients that it's amazing. I happily will list all those, and we've been in business for just about, I'd say, 8 years now.
Sure. I just want to first make sure everybody understands what the actual product is. So it makes sense to me that someone could get these instructions and they could arrange the items and they could do whatever they're supposed to do, and then for whatever reasons have positive feelings about it. But just to clarify, you can't do it to someone else. It's almost more like a self-hypnotism type of thing, right?
Well, you can. You can order a casting for someone else if that's what you're asking. For instance, if you're ordering a casting for someone else to have financial prosperity, you can do that. You simply just write their name down opposed to yours. So let me correct the answer I made a moment ago. The answer is yes. You can order a casting for someone else if that's what your question was, Rick.
But someone else has to do it, or you can?
No, not at all. You can do it yourself.
Perform a casting on someone else.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the time when somebody orders a casting, they are ordering for someone else to return another lover, to return someone else into their life, to maybe banish a bad relationship that they're in. So in essence, most of the castings are for someone else. There are no negative or negative side effects that come as a result of this.
Are there any guarantees made to the buyer?
Every casting comes with a 100% guarantee. It's called result or refund. If they don't see a result, they get a refund. We had a 97% refund-free year last year. We had probably a 3% return rate on refunds. So that's pretty good rate.
Sure. All right. So, tell the audience, if you would, the history of the sites. Where did Extreme Spells come from?
Well, Extreme Spells started in 2004, December of 2004. and I started it with the same premise as Modern Love Spells with the morphic energy attraction principle, where if somebody wanted to return a lover, to find true love, to attract success in their life, they could do so following the morphic attraction system that I created. It's been extremely successful. At the very beginning of Extreme Love Spells, we advertised with a few web directories. We dabbled with AdWords, but as we grew, we simply built sub-pages which created enough buzz to generate enough traffic without spending a dime on advertising.
Okay. And what about Modern Love Spells?
I built the Modern Love Spells as a sister site to Extreme Spells, so to provide just a more updated version of Extreme Spells. It's essentially the same thing, but they work hand in hand. They can be operated separately, or they can be operated independently. They both offer the same exact castings, the same exact prices. Again, they can be operated separately or independently. They both offer the exact same principles in mind.
Gotcha. So, this is a screenshot that you sent us. This is an example of a spell. Was this what the clients
Sure.
get?
Exactly. If you notice, they'll have simple directions to follow if they were looking to return someone in their life, and that shows the position of the items and how to place them and when to do those specific requests.
Okay. Did you create those spells yourself, or?
So some of them were taught to me. Some of them we implemented. Some of them I created. So it's been a combination of several things.
Gotcha.
Through trial and error.
So again, this is all part of the directions. You tell them the items they need.
Absolutely. It's basically, it operates itself. The directions to operate the site is very simple. The items used are extremely easily found. They're basically items you can find anywhere around the house even. The combination of such items creates certain attraction energies, which in turn give the client the results he needs.
Sure. And what is this here that we're looking at?
What's that?
This looks like just the next stage in the directions. Is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah, the screenshot actually is broken up into several different. Let me see where you're at here. I'm trying to get exactly
It looks
where you are.
like you're
The
telling
screenshot
people
is
like
broken up into
put
several
the
different.
candle.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this is the directions exactly how to. I believe it's to return my lover spell, and it explains to the client how to place the certain items, how to write the names in the paper, and so on and so forth. So the casting is complete.
Got it. And what is this going to?
In addition, I'm sorry, sir. In addition to the casting, we also give directions to the client that also helps them. As you see here, it says, what should I contact my ex-lover or not? And I say specifically to not make contact for up to 10 days for reasons as follows. One of the main reasons is that, as you know, if a couple breaks up and somebody doesn't make contact to the other one, it raises curiosity and intrigue in that person. It usually has them, creates a desire to call back. So we give directions for people who are looking for solutions to problems, not just with the casting, but with just the general life advice as well.
Hmm.
The combination of things create the results. That's what we're after.
Sure. All right. Well, now that we understand how the spell works, just so everybody can see here, this is a reasonably priced business. It does $130,000 a year in revenue, and the asking price is just $147,900. Here's the revenue that you provided over the last 12 months. It looks like
Correct.
It's growing.
It's on its way up, without a doubt.
Is there anything seasonal or cyclical about something
No.
like this?
Well, the only thing that is shifting, strangely enough, is the weekends seem to have less sales than the weekdays. Monday through Friday seem to be have a spike in sales, while the weekends have a little bit of a dip. Not much, maybe 20 to 30% difference in change over the course of the week. But that's the only thing that's shiftical as far as the sales are concerned.
And where do you think the growth is coming from?
I'm really not sure. It could be Google's algorithm. I'm not sure, but I did make quite a few sub pages. I search engine. I have to optimize each page accordingly, and I think that has a lot to do with the growth. I noticed the past few months it's really jumped up there, and I believe Google had a Panda. It's called a Panda update, which really affected the sites in a positive way. So I'm happy with that.
So I've had a couple people ask me about this already, and I think I've got a slide coming up about expenses. But how are the annual expenses only $48?
That's the most amazing thing about the site, actually, is the expenses themselves is just the advertising alone. I'm sorry, not advertising, but the hosting alone. Hosting is done through Yahoo and through Weebly, and there are no advertising expenses. If you want to include the expenses for the items for the casting, but like I said, those are found around your home. I'm pretty sure I have to buy those, and if you did have to buy those, they wouldn't be more than $50 a year. So I didn't feel like they were.
Well, how do people pay? Do they pay by PayPal?
People pay through they pay through PayPal. That's what I have set up on the site. You can use any processor you want, of course.
I think PayPal charges like 5% to 9%.
Oh yeah, sure. That's like 2.9, I believe, but 30 cents per charge. But that's the as far as that goes per order per purchase they charge. So I didn't include that in the expenses per se because they charge that per sale.
Okay. So is this the revenue after PayPal takes their cut, or before?
I think, yeah, this is the revenue after PayPal, exactly.
Okay.
This is completely profit.
So the revenue is generated by selling the castings, right? What's the pricing structure? Tell us. Is there any package or volume discounts?
Sure.
Tell us about all that.
The pricing structure, it starts at $24.95 and goes up to as much as $3.99. Or I'm sorry, $4.99 is the most is the highest price casting we have.
$500.
The one, that's correct. Yeah, there's sold quite a few of those, but the most popular cost is the most popular casting is the $59.95 price range to $99. That composes about 80 to 90% of the sales between $59 and $99 of the prices we have. Those are the most popular.
So what does someone get for a $500 spell?
They get the directions, as you saw previously, that provides them with the morphic energies to attract the thing they requested. That's what they get. And we've never had a single refund. I mean, I'm casting $495.
But what's the thing that they would request that costs $500?
That's the thing. That's the most amazing thing about this business, Rick, is because when a customer orders, they're getting basically information. They're getting a service. And again, if that service fails them, they can request a refund, and our refund rate has only been 3%.
Okay, but there's a pricing list for. Does each casting cost a different amount?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
which is the one that costs $500? I'm just curious.
Let me see here. It is, I believe it's the Return My Lover Platinum casting, and with that they get that one. I'm probably going to discontinue that one as well, and not include it with the sale, because that one there includes a free psychic reading from a secondary source. So I'm probably going to discontinue that one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they get a free psychic reading with that as well. Now, of course, the purchaser can include that as well if they have they're working with a psychic or something along those lines. But myself, I'm probably going to discontinue that one, because I'm not going to have the buyer won't have contact with the psychic unless they request it.
Okay. I think the rest of these questions we've already touched on. So
the site operates itself as far as its marketing goes. It's in the engines. It's buried deep inside all the engines and directories. The marketing has basically been done. I'm sorry, Rick, go ahead.
No. I'm just listening to you and flipping through. It looks like this is a screenshot from PayPal, so everybody can see the transactions coming in.
That's correct.
Let's see.
Behind every claim I make, I can verify everything that I've said here today.
Here's another one for November 2012 and October.
You won't find another business like this one. That's a fact.
Well, so this traffic. Where's this traffic report coming from? What kind of tool is this?
I think, let's see here, this is from a log analyzer. I believe it's called expertlog.com. I believe it's called expertlog, but it's from the logs inside Extreme Spells. I have the actual logs themselves I can make available as well if anybody who's interested in.
Okay, so these are the raw server logs.
Exactly.
All right. Um, these aren't pulled from analytics or anything like that. This is just for everybody to see. These are just keywords that it shows that the site's ranked for on SEMrush.com. So it ranks
Modern
well.
Love Spells does have the analytics.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
All right. So we do have the analytics.
Correct. With Modern Love Spells, we do.
Okay. Well, with modern love spells, we do. Why not with extreme?
I just didn't implement it with Extreme. When I started Modern Love Spells, I halfway through it about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago, I inserted analytics just as an experiment type thing. I wasn't even planning on selling at the time, and just to play with it and see what it was like, and it's been there ever since, and I just didn't think about adding it to Extreme. I wasn't planning on selling either one of them at the time.
Okay. So again, this is on the expenses. I've already asked you about the PayPal fees,
Yeah.
and you're saying there's nothing else.
Absolutely no other expenses. There's no advertising. There is no cost to advertise whatsoever with both sites. They're both ingrained in the organic search terms, and that's it. That's where all the business comes from. That's one of the most beneficial aspects of the sites.
All right. So here's the deal sheet if someone was interested in just modern love spells.
Okay.
So this one does $27,000, and
If I might add, Rick, the $27,000 it did, 10 of it came in the last 2 months of the November of 2012. So it's on its way up as well. Like I said, 10,000 of the 27 came in the last 2 months of 2012. So it's on its way up. It's growing, as you can see.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. I think you've already covered this too. You're saying that the two sites are exactly the same.
They offer the same products? Yes, exactly. I built Modern just with different words so I could have different type of search terms and new traffic from the engine. That's what the purpose. The reason I built Modern instead of making more sub-pages for the Extreme, I just wanted more search terms, more organic traffic.
Okay. So looks like this screenshot is specific to just modern love spells.
That's correct. That's just Modern for December. And as you can see, it did almost 4,000, I believe it's the change, and November, I believe it was roughly 5,000 and some change. So and in January, this month alone, it's already, it's close to, I think, 3,500 already. Yeah, it's generated this month, so it's definitely steady.
Okay, November, October, September. So here's the analytics screenshot from Modern Love Spells.
Yeah, the gap you see is when the code was removed for a short period of time, and I put it back in when I did an update on my site. I forgot to keep the code in, so I had to quickly run back in and add it again. It didn't go offline. It didn't have any problems. It's just the code was not inserted during that time frame.
Do you use conversion tracking in analytics?
No, I have never learned how you do that. I actually always wanted to, but no, I have not.
I'd be curious to know what your conversion ratio is. Here again, this just more from analytics. 75% search. We saw on the last slide it was over 90% new traffic. Free love spells that work fast is your top one. Looks like love spells are by far the biggest category, huh?
Oh yeah, by far.
All right, so mostly U.S. This isn't that many linking domains for the amount of traffic that you have. You think that's just because
like I said, the traffic comes from the organic searches. You know, Google is one of them. Is probably 80% of the traffic comes from Google itself. But, yeah,
right,
the
but
domain
Google
itself is irrelevant.
Well, I'm just saying that Google usually decides what to rank based on how many links they have. I mean, do you think this is do you have a lot of competition in this niche, or?
there is competition, but it doesn't affect new sites come and go all the time. And when they do, it doesn't affect anything. Or where I see that, like if a new site pops up, I don't see a dramatic shift in change at all in sales or traffic or either. It's just strictly organic.
All right. So again, the expenses, same story on Modern Love Spells. So tell us about a day in the life running these things. Describe to everybody.
Essentially, what would be required to run, let's say, one of these sites or both, would be to check the emails daily to see any potential new clients who are looking to order, answer their questions accordingly, like I have today, send out the current day's orders via emails, which will be provided to the buyer via script. Essentially, it's a website that's attached to the main site. They will just email a link to the client who ordered with specific directions for their spell, and that is it, my friend. That is that sums it up.
And how long does that take?
It could take someone as little as 10 minutes, as long as 30 minutes a day. They could spend an hour if they wanted to, address each client more and more personally. But you can be done with it as little as 15, 20 minutes a day, and that's the day-to-day operation. That's been that way since I started this site back in 2004.
Okay. So if a buyer asked you, what had you always planned on doing with the sites but never got to it or had the resources to do it,
Sure.
What would you tell them? Where do you envision the possibility?
Well, there's tons of potential. Number one would be I would like to implement AdSense to include AdSense within all the sites. I mean, the potential there has got to be astronomical. Okay, to include more subpages, to build more pages with it. If I had more time, I would like to build additional pages which would generate more traffic. Affiliates. There's to offer affiliate sales through additional websites. I understand ClickBank offers a certain percentage for non-tangible goods. Things like that. There's countless ways to add additional income to both sites. So that's what I'd like to do with the sites still.
Okay.
If I were still.
So why are you selling them?
I've been working on another site right now. A site I've been working on. Well, I've been basically building for the past year and a half. It's called My Loving Legacy. It's a new site I'm building. It's requiring all my attention, and it's just I'm basically burned out on on one thing. I want to start something fresh. You know what I mean? When you do the same thing over and over again, it just requires a fresh mind, a fresh person to come in and to take the reins, and that's what I'd like to happen with with Extreme and Modern. Hand it over to somebody who's really going to take care of it, to really enjoy the potential it has and the income it has. And the current site I'm working on is taking up most of my time right now. I'd say probably 7 hours a day I've been building this new site. It's really a neat niche, a new idea, and it's been taking most of my time and energy. So and I need the capital to invest in this new site as well. So that's essentially the reasons I'm selling the two sites right now.
That's as good of a reason as any. So I think we were pretty thorough. You did a great job. There were a lot of questions, and I was asking them as we went along, and
Okay.
there's really nothing left. So we can end here. Thank you for your time and for
I might add,
answering.
Rick, if you don't mind, if any potential buyer has any further questions, they can contact me or you guys, and I will happily fill them in on any type of concern or question they may have.
All right. Well, you're trying to steal my closing line. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has any,
you, Rick, I'm sorry.
yeah, if anybody has any questions, they need to contact Adam at latonas.com specifically.
Yeah, very good. There we go.
All right, buddy. Good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rick.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.